Now get a load of this. No camera crews, no gimmicks, just the ultimate test of human will. Could you survive alone in the woods for days on end with only a few things at your side? Well, the History Channel puts a few people to the test with their series called Alone. The other day, I spoke to one of the contestants from season 10, and I came to the conclusion that he is a much braver soul than I am. Mikey, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. You got to tell me, have you always been a survivalist? Like, what's your background that makes you, so, just into being in nature?
I've always been in the woods, been surrounded by nature. As a child, we learned to hunt and fish and trap and gather and forage. And throughout my teen years, we actually had no running water or power. And so we were, put into a situation where we had to use all of those skills constantly. And so it really helped hone them. And as I grew up, I honed those skills in even more. And still to this day, me and my family live mostly off the land. We hunt and fish and gather our own wild edibles and wild medicine, and we preserve our own foods. It's always been ingrained in me.
Yeah, and I know, speaking of your family now, you have kids and everything. How do they like being survivalists and kind of living off the land like you did when you were growing up?
They don't have it quite as hard as I had it when I was growing up, thank God. But they enjoy it. We go out and we shoot bows, and we fish together, we forage together, and we try to spend as much time together as we possibly can. My youngest son, he has special needs, and he's autistic, and so it's a little harder on him. But he still loves going out there and getting his hands dirty. He helps plant the garden and everything else. So he really enjoys it.
I love that, just passed down through the generations. So you are on season 10 of Alone. And I was doing a little research. I see that you picked your 10 items. Each contestant gets 10 items to kind of take out there in the wilderness with them. And you have an axe, saw, ferro rod, multi-tool, fishing line and hooks, paracord, cooking pot, snare wire, bow and arrows, and a sleeping bag. How long can you make it off of those items?
With those items and a little bit of luck, you can make it just as long as you could possibly think. You could go as far as you wanted to with those items. Those items are specifically around the 4 sets of survival as food, fire, water, and shelter. So you can collect food with those items. You can build shelter with those items. You can purify water with those items. And which ones was that? Food, fire, water, and shelter. So yeah, you can make fire, you can collect food, you can purify your water and build your shelter with those 10 items.
Wow. And how does your family feel about you being on Alone and kind of putting all the knowledge that you have to the test?
Every one of them said I could do it. Everyone had the highest hopes for me. Everybody knew that I could go out there. I don't know if they think that it's just the skills that I have, or if it's just because I'm so stubborn that I won't stop. But every one of them knew I could do it.
I love it. And one last question before I let you go, because being on the show kind of, like we just said, puts everything that you know to the test. And when you're just doing it for fun, you're kind of embracing nature. Did this change your relationship with how you feel about nature and kind of living in the wilderness and living off of the land? Did this experience change any of that?
Oh yes, it actually gave me a closer connection to nature. When I went out there, I thought that I was pretty closely connected anyways, and because you have to be to some extent. But going out there and actually getting away from the sounds and just the voices that you hear and the faces that you see, and just being by yourself with the animals, with the plants, with the weather, with nature in general, and it gives you a better understanding and more respect for the natural world than you could ever imagine.
Wow. Well, Mikey, I gotta say, I couldn't do it, so I I wish you luck. I cannot wait to see what happens on this season of Alone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. You have a great day.